Hey guys, Sundown here. This is going to be my chapter review to One Punch Man 74.2, which is a continuation of the last chapter that came out. It's kind of part two of that chapter. Now, I just want to quickly apologize for not having released any reviews for any of the mangas I currently review. And the reason for that is I'm currently in my finals season for university. I'm just doing all my exams and stuff. So, I've just been revising for that. Basically, yeah, you can see the books in the video. Yeah, I've just been killing myself doing revision, and there's kind of like a small lull in the revision now, so I can just quick time make a One Punch Man video at least, and hopefully tomorrow I might jump on to Nanatsu no Taizai. I'm not so sure about the fairy tale; that might not deserve a review until until my exams are finished. But yeah, my exams fully finish on the 1st of June, so I'll be able to release more frequently, and I'll be able to do a lot more stuff after the 1st of June that I've been wanting to do for a while. I might jump on, I might put on some other manga series. For instance, is it what's it called, Boku no Hero Academia? I think I watched the first season of that, and I'm gonna start reading the manga of that once I can. So hopefully stuff like that as well. But once again, just a quick apology for and reason for not having released any of my reviews for anybody that's watching. So yeah, let's just get straight on to this One Punch Man review, and I thought it was a really good chapter. You know, it made you there were loads of emotions in this chapter, and you got the whole mix of despair, and then right at the end, the the despair kind of just vanishes. You get all that hope back again in one chapter. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. So what did we learn in this chapter? We learned what we kind of already knew. It was just the progression of everything, and it was a culmination of all that hype. And now we're just kind of waiting for Saitama at the end, because Saitama pops up at the end, and we're waiting for shit to go down basically. So it was really good for me. I really enjoyed it. So what we see is Bakuzan is still an evil, vile ass mother cheddar. He's picking on Soryu for being in his weakened state, and he's taking the mick out of him. He's just there like, oh, you're an embarrassment, champ. You know, he's like, hey, come on, champ. You're a weak champ. What are you doing on the floor, champ? And all that. And he picks up Soryu by the hair. Soryu has to tear off his hair to get out of the guy's grasp, and he's trying to limp away. I think one of his legs was already damaged. One of his arms was already broken. We know that. But yeah, so Soryu is trying to limp away all the way throughout the chapter, and he's on the brink of, and then he finally dives into the depths of despair in this chapter, and you can see Soryu kind of gaining that understanding of this is what normal people must go through on a regular basis when they come up against monsters, because Soryu's always had power. I'm not going to say what Bakuzan said, where he says Soryu was handed all his power on a silver platter. Not really. Soryu must have worked his ass off to get that level of power, but he can now see what other people have to go through, the people who don't have power, and they can't just easily walk through life like Soryu at the moment can, because he can just knock the shit out of anybody. Bakuzan goes on to break, I think he actually breaks both of Soryu's legs. Soryu finally lets out a scream of pain. Throughout all of this, Soryu's been like one solid ass geezer. He hasn't let out a hint or an iota of being in pain. He hasn't shown at all that he's been in pain. He's been bleeding, he's been grimacing, but he hasn't really screamed out in pain, and he finally let out a scream in pain, much to Bakuzan's delight. Bakuzan was like, yeah, I got him to scream, and I was like, yo, this guy, I just can't wait for this guy to die. So Soryu, in the hopes that Bakuzan still has like an ounce of martial artist in him, an ounce of integrity or honor, he tells Bakuzan, look bruh, I can't stand against you. You've knocked me clean out. I'm basically dead here. Just please let me be. Just let me go. And Bakuzan's like, oh, you're embarrassing yourself, champ. You know, I can't believe you're resorting to this. Whereas it's obvious that Soryu has no other option. He has to resort to this. And I think he also makes a motion to kind of bow his head down to Bakuzan, and kind of like a forgive me type thing. You know, don't take this too deep. Just let me go. So Bakuzan's like, oh yeah, you know what? Lick my feet. If you lick my feet, we're good. I'll let you go. So for starters, he was probably lying anyway. But what I liked here was that Soryu still has his dignity. He shows that he still has that dignity, and he won't go that far. He treasures his life, but he doesn't treasure it above his honor, which is a good thing, because he breaks Bakuzan's toe with one arm. It shows how strong Soryu is, to be honest. But he breaks Bakuzan's toe, and in that time where Bakuzan's kind of screaming in pain, Soryu lets out his scream, but he's screaming for help from all the heroes. And we get this nice montage through the chapter, at this part of the chapter anyway, where we see a montage of heroes that Soryu is supposedly screaming towards, or maybe it was just showing a collab of heroes because Soryu needed one at that moment. We see Tsubaki, Fubuki, Angel. We see Drive Knight, Moomin Rider, Tank Top Master, the fat, what's his name, Pig God or something. I don't know what his name is. We see that S-Class kid. We see that sword guy who was fighting with that calcium dude. I've forgotten what his name was. But we see a whole bunch of these heroes and a few others. And as you'd expect, no one responds instantly. They're all too far away. They're all fighting their own battles. So Soryu is now on the brink of despair. You can see all his teeth are missing. He's weeping now. He finally loses his cool and he's weeping, and he's actually preparing to die. He's like, this is it. We're gonna go. This is bye bye. So he's mentally, even in this state, he's still begging Snek and Max to get back up. He's like, you gotta get back up at least just one more time, even if it's all for nothing. So then he has this small monologue about being lost in absolute darkness. He finally understands what it is that other people have to go through, and he just needs a light. He just needs a tiny light to get him out of this darkness. And what I really liked about this chapter was it shows as Soryu has come to terms with his weakness when compared to a power like this, and hopefully when he sees Saitama, he'll understand that. And he also, the other thing it showed was that Snek and Max, even though they weren't more powerful than Soryu himself, it shows that what Soryu was lacking was that necessity within himself to aid other people, and that courage to stand up against all odds, which is what he currently lacks. He doesn't have that drive, he doesn't have that motivation to help people, and he doesn't have the courage to stand up in the face of a disgusting amount of evil. Whereas now we could get that juxtaposition instantly, because right at the end when Bakuzan's about to kill Soryu, and he actually attempts to kill Snek first, so I assume Bakuzan tried to kill Snek just because he was trying to instill more fear and despair in Soryu. He was trying to play mind games with him. He wanted to kill everyone around him first and then save him to last. And then we got Saitama, who saves Snek as he's about to get trodden on. And Saitama had no idea, obviously, typical Saitama. He had no idea this shit was going down. He was just dressing up, is what he says. So he was getting ready to, go back out and get dressed up in his One Punch Man kit. So he was just there doing nothing. He was literally just sat there getting changed. And this was so awesome, because you can see on Soryu's face as these pages go on at the end of the chapter, where you can see that recognition of, this is what I needed. That bald head is what I needed. That's the light I wanted. And you can see in him rising, the hope is rising again. You can see that he's appreciating the courage of these heroes, because Soryu sees him and he goes, wait a second, and we see Saitama and he's like, yes, I am a hero. And I was like, yo, that panel was sick to begin with. That panel was pretty dope, and I was like, yes, this is gonna be cool. And then the next page, I heard your cry for help, I came for you, Soryu. And I was like, yes, this is gonna be so sick. And then we see the front of Saitama, and Soryu's behind him just looking back, and we see Saitama just raise his hand leave the rest to me. And I was like, yo, he's got his serious face on. He doesn't look, when they draw him in that funny kind of hard lined, actually the lines are all messed up around his face, and his eyes are always a bit dull and dead looking. They've drawn him properly here. He looks like he should do, and he's serious and everything. He's like, leave the rest to me. And this is the end for Bakuzan, because he's about to experience Saitama firsthand, and we're gonna see Soryu first realize that, once again, like I said before, the courage of the heroes and what they need. Because a lot of we've seen heroes before who aren't even that powerful compared to even Genos. Genos is a lot more powerful than a lot of these heroes, but what they do have, which Soryu doesn't, is that courage to stand up against evil. And that's what Soryu, and the motivation to stand up against evil. So that's what Soryu is going to see, but he's also going to see unyielding power. He's going to see the power level of Saitama, and he's probably gonna, I think at the end of this, my personal theory is, I'm not sure if even Soryu is in the web manga, but I think Soryu is going to be one of those guys who jumps on Saitama's bandwagon like King Fubuki, I think, she's kind of on his bandwagon almost. Genos, all those guys who kind of just get drawn into Saitama. He's going to be one of those guys. So I really enjoyed this chapter. I like the despair and then the hope at the end. I like the fact that I was having difficulty explaining it at the beginning, but I like the fact that Saitama really understands now the courage of the heroes, and I just enjoyed the chapter in general. I really like that Bakuzan's now going to get his ass whooped, and it shows again that Bakuzan, he's going to meet his end because he was too proud, and because he was he refused to listen to people who were stronger than him. Once again, we got what's his name? It was just last chapter. These chapters come out with so much time in between, you forget what happened. But the previous martial artist, the monster dude, who told Bakuzan they were meeting at Z City, he should have listened to his ass and gotten his ass straight out of that stadium and gone with him. But no, Bakuzan's being a bitch, and he's gonna die like a bitch. So I really like that. The whole chapter was pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 just because of all the opposites we saw in this chapter, the light and the dark and everything, the courage and the courageless. So yeah, the cowardly. Yeah, so it was really good. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think or thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll try and release an Nanatsu no Taizai review tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit.